Before we begin the video, I'd like to give a big shout out to our most recent Patreon supporters, Snake VR, Luis Alvarez, Max Ratliff, Landon Ladeau, Michael Abeta, and Goyulas 200. Thank you so much for your support, and if you want to support us on Patreon, feel free to click the link down below in the description to find out more. Thanks again. So, a long time ago, there were people saying we needed to watch stuff from a certain channel, and that channel being SMG4. Now, apparently SMG4 has done very well for themselves, and is now has a series coming out called Meta Runner. So, okay, that's awesome. And people have been asking us to watch the trailer for it. So, what the hell, right?
I'm trying to figure out what their name stands for because the only thing I can keep coming up with is
Super Mario Gamer 4? I don't know.
Well, I'm from Southwest Virginia.
I was
raised in a trailer.
Shin Megami Gensei 4 or something. I was like, what?
Shin Megami Gensei?
Yeah, because it's SMG instead of SMT.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are they doing?
Well, I don't know, but they have a new animated series coming out called Meta Runner. Seems like it's going to be some futuristic shit. Maybe. I don't know. All I saw was this one image of like two people, one with yellow hair and one with blue hair, and I'm like, okay.
Wouldn't it be funny if they were all just like purposely taking their time doing everything and it's called Runner?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be like that one anime show I watched like 6 episodes for. They were like, oh, dude, you don't understand. It's really good. You just got to watch it all the way through. And I'm like, okay. And I was 6 episodes in, and all it was just a bunch of people at a military base talking about the shit that had happened without showing any of it.
Huh.
And I'm like, when's this supposed to get good? When is this supposed... God, never mind. I'm just going to go back to watching this. I'm just going to go back to watching, like, I don't know, Fairy Tale or some
Different
shit like
strokes, you know?
Yeah. That's what the creator of that damn show must have been suffering from.
Yeah, I was a little worried because we decided to check out the first episode of Iron-Blooded Orphans the other day.
Oh, really?
And, like, the first 3/4 of the episode is, like, you know, it's character setup and everything, so it's sort of understandable. But it was pretty dull.
It was.
And then at the last 1/4 of the episode, it got real fucking cool real quick. And I was
yeah,
like, all right, here we go.
Because the action kicks in, and that kid starts kicking ass.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no Gundam until, like, the very last couple, like, maybe 15 seconds of the episode, but it's fucking worth it when it finally happens. And it's like, there's a Gundam. Oh.
Well, yeah, I mean, I watched all the way up until about, like, 6 episodes in on Season 2, and I never went back to it. I'm thinking about going back to it because it was interesting. Very interesting. And it's been said that every decade there's at least 1 or 2 great Gundam series. Like in the 70s, it was the original Gundam. In the 80s, it was, I think, Stardust Memory, which was like an OVA series, but was still one of the best. And then in the 90s, Gundam Wing. I think that goes without saying. In the 2000s, Gundam
Apparently
Seed.
that's debatable now.
Why? Is about Gundam Wing?
Yeah, apparently, like, these people, like, had, like, lists up of, like, the Gundam series, and, like, they agree with everything you said up to then, and they're like, Gundam Wing's one of those that, like, as much as we hate to say it, it's really not that good of a series. It's the place that most people got into Gundam at, but they're just like, it's not a very good series, apparently. And I'm like, I gotta rewatch that, because that is not what I remember. But then again, I was a middle schooler when I first watched it, so.
I've heard people talk shit
Here's
about
what I gotta
Dragon
say to
Ball
people
too.
who say that.
So.
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and most of the time it's full of shit. I'm sorry, you hit a nerve with me.
During
there,
the
man.
editing process, you really need to get that frame in there that shakes the camera and put the triggered shit on it. Triggered.
You, I'm not triggered.
It happens.
Okay,
I'm not triggered, dude.
It was,
I'm just,
it was Gundam Wing for
thing.
you. It was Shaquille O'Neal for me. I get it.
No. Here's the thing about being triggered, though, man. I mean, you and I, we weren't triggered. We were just upset. Here's the thing about triggered. Triggered is we get to the point where, triggered is where you're so upset you can't even bring yourself to explain your point, which is why they call people who get like that triggered, because they're so tilted over the whole thing. Me, I'm tilted over the fact that there's a bunch of purists out there who just can't get over the fact that, oh, Gundam Wing's actually a good series, and they just don't want to admit it because that's everybody's entry point. It's just like everyone not wanting to say Dragon Ball Z's a great anime.
Exactly. I've heard people say that, and I'm just like, well.
That's because it was everyone's entry point. You know what? Cowboy Bebop was a lot of people's entry point. You're going to say it's a bad series? I dare you. I fucking dare you. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Anyway, this little
I don't give a fuck whether you think Gundam Wing's like bad or good. I'm still gonna build every single fucking one of those Gundams if I come across them all day long. So
same here, because they're memorable
they're
designs.
all badass. All the characters were badass.
But
the plot was badass.
Okay. Anyway, back to my point. In the 2000s, it was Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny. You know, the original series and the sequel series.
Actually, I just thought something. Okay, it may not be a revolutionary series, but it was a badass series. And there's a difference between revolutionary and badass. Like, the first one, yes, it's probably got, like, much better, like, writing and just, like, intricacies and stuff to it. It still doesn't make Gundam Wing not badass.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and then there was also the one that was, I forget exactly which one it was called, but it was the one where it was, like, Gundam mixed with Platoon, where it was this platoon of Gundam warriors fighting against the Zeon invaders. And it was actually really good shit. And it was a good series, almost all the way through. A lot of people were pissed with the ending because it was left up in the air, but I liked it. But anyway, that's Gundam. That's the Gundam series. This is Meta Runner. Let's get this on screen and let's watch what the hell's going on.
all right.
Nate's still cutting a promo. Video games.
What's up?
This place is incredible, but why does it seem so familiar?
Video games are the center of everything here, Tari.
Excuse me, can I have your autograph?
That cybernetic arm. You're a Meta Runner, right?
These people have replaced their limbs just so they can boost their gaming performance. Can you imagine that?
You'd be surprised what people
That's
would
cheating.
do to be number one.
Oh my god, that frame-perfect precision!
Charlie's ability to learn video games is incredible! Oh, you should have seen him, man!
Wait, Polka Dot Boy?
The name's Neo, and welcome to my home.
Oh,
You went into the
so
video
she's able to insert
That's
herself into the
unheard
video
of.
game.
Yeah, Tari!
Yeah, I really like Ready Player One.
Gaze. That lets you see things others can't, right?
I guess you could put it that way.
How remarkable.
Lux has hurt a lot of people, but it's all for the better.
Technology like this would make us unstoppable.
Of course.
I wonder what's going on with me.
Change of plan. I no longer just want her abilities for Tazcore. I want her.
Lux, you are so creepy right now.
Australians are working really, really hard in the entertainment business right now. I don't know if anybody else has noted that.
Oh yeah,
fact,
I've noticed
but
it. Well, I actually had a bit a while back about how the Brits and the Australians are taking away all the good American acting gigs, because you look at Batman, played by a Brit, multiple times.
I mean, even
now.
on this like kind of mid-wave, where you see most of the grunt quality work being done, it's like Netflix is flooded with Australian media.
Well,
stuff.
yeah.
And
Well-
then you've got like I don't know how many YouTubers. It's like almost every other one that I see, it's an Australian person.
Well, Australian, New Zealand, the Anglo realm has really produced a lot of great content. Like I'm talking, of course, you can call it like the Anglo-Scottish Gaelic, because I've seen a lot of great YouTubers from Scotland. I've seen a lot of great YouTubers from Ireland, but I've seen a shit ton from England, Australia, New Zealand, like all the Anglo, like all the very heavy Anglo-inspired areas. And yeah,
They're really making content.
They are
a lot.
They're extremely creative and they're doing great work, and I love it. I love the fact that they're doing that and they're killing it.
Doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it at all. I mean, the more good stuff we have, I mean, the more good stuff we have, I mean, the more we have to take in. I mean, I'm not against it at all.
I mean, that was my positive I wanted to throw out there. It's good to see the Australians hustling.
Well, dude, they always hustle. I mean,
hustle.
I mean, if their own country can't kill them, I mean, what chance do we have?
That's a fact.
Now, to make sure that the comment section on this video will tell me I'm an asshole and
I wasn't going to
drop all of the shit on me. I don't think it looks awful. I think it looks very catered to like the Fortnite community and stuff with the animation style to an extent. Like probably not necessarily them, but it reminds me a shit ton of like Fortnite and Dauntless with the animation. But the concept, you can't exactly call it unique.
Not really.
In today's,
I mean, well,
media.
Personally, just from this preview, my idea I get from the concept is one thing, but however, watching the show, that's something else completely different. I mean, I may watch this show and just be like, huh, you know, this actually is a little bit different than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because I've had that happen to me a few times. I have. But the majority of the time, no, it's exactly as it seems.
It looks like Ready Player Wreck-It Ralph.
Or like
Ready
Player, every anime that's come out in the past, like, you know, 6 months or so, that's about people getting trapped in video games.
It's trapped in the video
Or it's been more than 6 months, because Sword Art Online's like a couple years old at this point.
Oh, no, dude, Sword Art Online's like...
Sword Art Online came out, and then everybody started making animes about people getting stuck in video games.
Wasn't there one that had similar, like, digital character styles that was on... It was like blue people inside the digital world, like...
Reboot?
Yeah, Reboot.
Yeah,
Reboot was like not real people,
Digimon
though. It was
in general.
But they were programs.
Yeah, they were programs.
Digimon.
Yeah, like...
Digimon can be considered that.
Actually, Dot Hack, I think, was like that.
Yeah, Dot Hack.
I think they were
really
way before even Sword Art.
What was the anime that had, like...
And Monster
the
Hunter
dude
as well.
And the chick that were, like,
like
super good at video games, playing them, like, even on their feet, and they get sucked into the game. And they're, like, really, really wicked whatever game players that they're in. They're just wicked at it. And, like, winning games is how, like...
Dude, you're pretty much explaining so many anime plot lines over the last 5 to
I'm thinking
5
he's
to 6
thinking
years.
older than that, though. Are you talking about, like, back in, like, Nickelodeon days, or...?
This one's probably, like, 2010.
2010?
Yeah, no, I'm not sure on that, then.
Okay. So they were, like, using
it involves, like an elf country, and, like, they land in this one country, and winning the game, they become like the royalty of that country, and then they've got to face all these other dominions.
Log Horizon?
There's like, maybe that sounds familiar,
because that
but
also
there's like
sounds
a
a
dark
lot like Sword
side
Art
of it
to
too.
an extent.
Anyway, I'll grill you on it later and pick it out of your brain. I can't remember the name.
But
of
yeah,
it.
it's basically just like I can't be super stoked about this because the concept of it looks overdone.
Ridiculously unoriginal, I would say that for sure.
Well, but at least like I did get vibes of like to an extent like Genlock from it, which I did enjoy.
That's the animation style, really, because from what I'm seeing from this animation style, okay, I see also.
It wasn't just the animation style; it was like the technology and the time setting type thing that they were using. I think maybe as well.
Fair enough for but me, the animation style, I'm getting Ruby Season 1 vibes pretty heavy, but that's not a bad thing because Ruby Season 1, even though it had its downfalls, you know, especially with like certain collision animations and instead of like eating animations, it was just like girl would just like put a cookie up to her mouth and it would just disappear. Exactly.
Melm.
Just melm. But instead with Ruby, it was like melm.
Goku status.
Yeah, and then they asked her about her uncle, and she's like, "Oh, that's my uncle." Oh, sorry, that's my uncle. Oh, that's my uncle. Because that's always the thing. That's actually a running joke that's been in Rooster Teeth for like ever since Bernie was just like complaining about anime. He's like, "Isn't anime just all the same? You know, it's just two people fighting, and one of them looks at the other and goes, 'Oh, that's my uncle.'" And then a giant robot comes in and crushes the other one. And I'm like, that probably is an anime out there, but that's not all of them. And I think Bernie's sort of got more of an appreciation for anime now ever since they've worked out deals with like Crunchyroll and shit like that for RWBY to be shown on there.
I like shit that surprises me.
Oh, I do too.
You know,
I do too.
And that's what I appreciate about a lot of anime, because the good ones always have a twist that you're like, what the? This shit just went from crazy to I don't even know if my brain can process this shit right now.
Well, also
that's like my favorite part.
Also, there's one thing I will say about the music in this. It sounds a whole lot like the music sounded good. It's just the melody and the song structure reminded me a whole lot of Jump Up Superstar from from Mario Odyssey. So da 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 da, but instead of it being jazz, like in a jazz timing with with the instruments, instead here it's in a more like metal, like a more hard rock metal style. And I'm not, look, this isn't me complaining, guys. I mean, these guys went out and they did this, and so far from what I'm seeing, it looks pretty damn good, all things considered. This does not mean that I'm just going to shit on this because indie guys. I'm not just going to just drop trow on this because, dude, they're doing stuff I could never do by myself. I could not, like, no one in this room.
It's still a situation of like I would give it a chance.
I would too. Yeah.
But it's just like my interest level was like
waning as it went on.
Like here's as much as it can be. It was like kind of like up here, like, and then like as it hit the point where she got sucked into the game, it went down like pretty far. It's just like they're
seen too much anime.
They're doing
recently.
this one, this anime trope again.
The more I heard plot stuff of just like
sucked in the video game,
grabbing from other shit, I was kind of like disinterested completely, especially when the guy was like, well, I want her and her technology. It's like, that's Ready Player One too.
That's not just Ready Player One. That's one of the most stereotypical villain tropes out there. It's just like big, evil, powerful.
But you see
men
what I
want
mean? It's
everything.
just like it took me something within the past 3 years to find exactly perfectly matching plot stuff. It's not even, you have to reach far back, and it's inspired from something they've been baffled with their whole life and put it into their work as like an accent and a nod back to something. It's like that's still fresh in everybody's mind. We just saw that movie. You see what I mean?
Well, yeah, I get what you're
saying. Because I get
100%.
people borrowing from stuff that influence them. That's fine.
It's like paying homage.
It's still on the shelf, guys. It's very relevant and not that old that you're pulling from.
But me, the stereotypical like main corporate villain who's just there to be the bad guy, I've seen that way too many times in my life, though.
Yeah.
And to me, a villain that forms as the show goes along, because in the beginning there doesn't necessarily have to be a villain. Because in the beginning of Breaking Bad, Walter White was not the villain. Walter White was just Walter White. He developed into the villain, and we found ourselves rooting for him. And that's when you truly get invested in a character, and no matter if they do good or if they do bad, you are always interested in what they do. Versus a guy that you're just told to hate for no odd reason other than the fact that he's big, evil corporate man, must have everything. That's what I see.
It also shows,
every time.
that kind of stuff shows you like a weird dark side of your brain, too, because you're just like...
No,
I didn't know I wouldn't just completely hate a character that did this kind of stuff.
It's investment. Yeah. You see, here's the thing. It's investment in the character. You see, Walter White, I think, is one of the most interesting characters because we rooted for him while he was cooking meth to help his family. But then he grew to love the business more than he did his family because he actually became powerful. And he was always pushed to the back line his entire life. Watched everyone around him achieve success except for him. And then he's finally in power. And he doesn't want to lose that. And he doesn't want to give it up. And honestly, man, when I started seeing him as more of the villain, because, there were people who came along every now and again who were more villain-esque, but you could tell that they were just a passing phase on the character's evolution. Like the brothers, Tuco and the twin brothers, and even Gus Fring. I mean, you could tell all of them were bad in their own right, but the depths that Walter would have to go to outplay them. I mean, it shows the evolution of his character, and when you actually stop rooting for him, and instead you actually in your head start to plot his downfall. Like, how's this all going to fall down? If I were this character, I'd do this. If I were this character, I'd do that. And that's when you know you're fully invested. love or hate the character, you are always going to be interested enough to watch them. That's just like Jack Nicholson. My dad can't stand Jack Nicholson as an actor and this and that, but you know what? He watches every single film that he's in pretty much. Do you know why? Because Jack Nicholson gets you invested.
He got heat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's.
Why should we hate this guy though? That's going to be my question.
That's me too.
And you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll check it out with you guys.
I'll check it out too. I'm interested.
If you're going to watch it, might as well. Just because if I'm going to talk shit about something, I'm definitely going to go ahead and give it the chance to prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
well, that's what I think
like,
too. Is like what we're giving right now is a reaction to a trailer, and that's my reaction to the trailer. Like it doesn't necessarily mean I would dislike the series. I'm just saying that's
I'm interested
my thoughts
in the series.
that it gave me.
I want to see what else this thing has to offer.
If
yeah,
I was
I mean, it
5
could end up
and
being
didn't have the
surprisingly.
internet, this was on cable.
Yeah,
I'd probably watch
unique.
it.
I would probably
now
too.
as an adult with the internet, I probably wouldn't.
My last thought is I want to say I really hope it doesn't come to people actually getting fucking mechanical arms just to play video games better. That's cheating, and fuck you if you ever do that.
You heard it here, folks.
If you need a mechanical arm because you don't have a regular arm, that's fine. But if you go get one just to play games better, go fuck yourself.
Fair enough. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Meta Runner official trailer by SMG4. We may watch this. I know a lot of you. I can actually hear the angry typing in the comment section right now because people can't handle opinions.
They can all go fuck themselves.
I know. I
don't really care.
I know you don't really care. But
gross.
Honestly, the thing is, if you want us to watch this, if you think we would like it, let us know. I mean, I'm willing to give this a chance. Who knows, guys? I mean, really, who knows? So, anyway, until next time, everyone, signing off. I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chad.
And we will see you all in the next one. Peace out.